Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I will be trying out the Arrtx 126 Colored Pencil set. I won't lie, I've been really excited to try these out. I've recently discovered a love for coloured pencils, so yeah, the idea of having this range of colours was so exciting. And you can see here they're nicely split up into two sections, which makes it really easy to handle them on your desk. And they came with a thank you card as well, like usual. Here is what the pencil looks like, and the little stars on the pencil itself are so cute, and for some reason I'm so in love with them. 126 coloured pencils. That's a lot of pencils, and initially I was like, do I really want to do a swatch sheet for that? Yeah, I do end up doing it, because you know me, I love having swatch sheets. Not necessarily doing them, they take a while and they're not the most fun thing in the world, but I am really glad I did, because there is a colour thing on the back of the box to let you have a general idea of the colours, but it's not accurate. So as usual, I always recommend making a swatch sheet so that you can actually see the colours themselves, and it gives you an idea of like how soft the lead itself is. And there is a lovely range of colours in this set that I was very excited to start using, and filming this, it is June. I don't think this video is coming out in June, but I wanted to do something for Pride Month. Unfortunately, it's going to be late now, but I wanted to draw my girls Clarissa and Bertha. They are two of my OCs. They were originally in the Witcher universe back when I was really into The Witcher, but they've since become their own thing, and I usually draw them around Pride Month because unfortunately that is one of the only times I actually remember about them, and I feel kind of bad because I do genuinely love them so much. So for this first one I decided to use a fairly neutral coloured pencil because I only use the pencils in this video. I was planning on using some alcohol markers or something to go with it, but I thought it would be nice to just show off what you can do with just the pencils themselves. So using a neutral one like this, I knew that the other colours would work quite well over the top of it, and it should for the most part kind of disappear or just be easy to cover up. So I start with the drawing of them together in a modern setting because their actual setting is kind of like sort of fantasy medieval, I guess, because I love that setting so much. So this is a modern setting of them with they're holding the pride flag. Unfortunately I did it a little too low, so you can only see the top half of the pride flag, which is it's a little annoying because it kind of just looks like the German flag but with some extra stuff on it. You'll see what I mean later when I get to colouring it. Starting with the coloured pencils, what am I saying? I feel like this is a theme with my videos lately where I'll be using a supply where I'm like, I'm not so used to using it. And that is the case for today's video as well. It has been a long time since I last did a drawing that was purely coloured pencil, so I decided to just take it slow and figure it out as I went along. If I had to do lots of layers, so be it, I have to do lots of layers. And the mentality I sort of went into this piece with is kind of similar to how I use alcohol markers. So I started light and I wanted to just slowly build up. So I started with the skin colour and then tried just adding very slightly darker patches for the shading and like the blush and stuff. I had a lot of fun just messing around with the colours. As you can see on the hair, I don't know what I'd call it, but I added some pink in the hair to make it soft. It's like her skin colour sort of pink, and then I used some light blue for the shading, which I then outlined in purple. She's a blonde, so then I found this really nice kind of sandy yellow light brown kind of thing, and I just really like how soft it looks. I did then get impatient because I wasn't feeling great about the picture, so I did go in and start lining some areas in black to see if this was actually working, because typically I'd save the black for the end so that I can just like add the finishing details. But yeah, I got impatient and I added a little bit, and that was when I was like, I think this is working, I think I'm comfortable with this, and I'm really liking how it looks. Which is why I then stopped, because I was like, I'm gonna get carried away with the black and the rest of the picture isn't even done. So the first girl you saw is Bertha. She, in the fantasy setting, is well, in the new one, she is the royal guard, like the princess's closest royal guard. I can't remember the words I'm trying to think of. And she just kind of protects her. She is a fighter, hence why she has a scar on her face. Also, face scars, you know, you have to have them. Then the other girl you can see that I'm working on now is Clarissa. In the fantasy setting, she's the princess, she's the royalty. And, you know, they're in love, as it is, because I really, really love that trope of a guard and whoever they're assigned to falling in love. I haven't fleshed out the story as much as I would like to, but maybe that's something I will work on in the future. But I have kind of touched upon a little bit of the story and lore in like previous sketchbooks, and I don't know if I've properly mentioned it, but I think I might have talked about it in some of the sketchbook tours. I will try and link them down below if you're interested, and maybe one day I'll actually do like a proper lore video on them. Yeah, so in this modern one, they're just two happy, free girls who can do what they want. When they were in The Witcher, the original idea was that Bertha was a sort of mercenary. Obviously, because it's The Witcher, I wanted her to have two swords, even though she isn't a witcher herself. I kind of wanted it to be that she'd worked with enough that she'd picked up a couple tricks. She wasn't as good as them, so she got hurt a lot, which is why in the original one she is like covered in scars, and eventually she gets quite disfigured. I wanted her to end up losing some limbs, and I might apply that to the new one I've made for them because I still think that's kind of a cool idea. But in the Witcher one, she was a merc, and she would like jump from group to group, just working with whoever, because she just did whatever she could to get by. And Clarissa, I wanted her to be a brothel worker. There is that really fancy one in... Ooh, I can't remember the name of the city. It's not Oxenfurt, is it? She would be a brothel worker. One time I wanted it to be that Bertha and the group she was travelling with stopped by in that city, and, you know, they went into the brothel. That is where they met. And I have like an original picture. I have a picture of them I drew ages ago. I'll throw it up on the screen. It's quite old now. Maybe I'll redraw it at some point because I did kind of like how I did it. It was with watercolour. And yeah, they got on really well. So then it's very tropey, but I just wanted it to be that Bertha was going to help her get out of that situation, and they would then like live on the road together, surviving off of Bertha's skills making money, and maybe Clarissa has some like skills foraging or something. I don't know, I hadn't actually fleshed it out. And then I wanted them to be separate from the Witcher universe, so I gave them their own fantasy realm thing, which I really have not fleshed out enough, but I really want to. I really like them, and I think I have some ideas that could be touched upon. Yeah, so you might have noticed in like recent videos I've been using black line art a lot more than usual. There are some recordings of me in the past saying how much I do not like black line art and how I'll always pick coloured line art over black. And yeah, recently that has changed a lot. I really like mixing both. One of the previous videos I did, Upgrade, where I is that the first time I did it? It's not, is it? I've done it with pens before. One of the previous videos, Upgrade I think it was, where I drew the birds, and it came with this really nice black pencil, and I used that to add some definition in places for the birds. And so for this video, I was like, I could do that again here. This box comes with a black pencil. There is something about coloured black pencil as opposed to, you know, regular graphite pencil that is so nice. It's just so soft and dark. Maybe because it's not meant for drawing, it's meant for like colouring or whatever. It's really just been helping me get over my weird prejudice against using black line art. So yeah, it really made these pieces on this page have something that I don't think I could have made without it. I really like how it turned out as like an accent rather than a main feature of a piece. With this blue drawing of Clarissa, originally I wanted her to have her hand on her chest, to have some like regal pose or whatever, but yeah, you probably saw I got rid of it really quick because it just was not working. I did not like it, and because of the limited space I was drawing in, the pose just, it did not make sense and I didn't have space to figure it out, so I just got rid of it. She isn't blue. She isn't a blue person like Kara is. I just wanted to do a sort of monotone or monochromatic. I don't know which word it is. I'll figure it out and I'll put it on the screen which one I meant. But I wanted her to just be one colour, like to make it interesting and to test like the range of the coloured pencils that you get in the set. And I chose blue because I thought it would look really nice and soft and kind of fill the fantasy feeling that it's supposed to have, because this is what she looks like in their original universe now. She used to not have elf ears, but I don't know, maybe it was because of the Dragon Age news stuff. I was like, I really want to give her elf ears. So she has elf ears now, which makes her look even more magical. And I really like it because she has short curly hair, so seeing her ears poke out I think just creates a nice, not contradiction, it just makes a nice composition maybe? I'm not sure, I just really like how it looks together. So I wanted to do the same thing I've done with previous Arrtx videos where I include the thank you card somehow, and there wasn't that much space, but I thought I could kind of make it work, and I started planning out these ideas of fruit in some way, and I ended up with the idea of having some nice fruit on the card, and then when you flipped it up it would be half eaten with a worm for some reason. But when I started sketching it out I realised I'd just sketched the nice stuff and I liked it too much to rub it out and change it, so I was like, well damn, I think I'm just gonna not include the card this time. So I didn't. And it feels kind of weird, like it was a rule that I made, I didn't have to do it, but it feels like something I'm meant to stick to now. But I didn't, and I drew these strawberries that initially looked like a mess, but by the time I finished them, the black pencil really just neatens everything up. I don't know what it is, it just looks so much nicer when I add the black pencil. Yeah, these were really fun to draw because I haven't drawn fruit in a while, I don't think, especially coloured fruit, and I just had fun with it. Strawberries are really fun to draw, and I kept some spots white. It's supposed to be like the highlights of the fruit to make it look shiny. I snapped my pencil lead, which it kind of short-circuited my brain for a bit and I had to stop and just remember how to work. But yeah, it was really nice. I'm glad I included the fruit. I'm not entirely sure where it came from, why I wanted to add fruit, but it's really sweet. And it meant it was nice to have some girls on the page as well as something slightly realistic. So yeah, that's how I did this page. And of course I had to throw up some stars, and then I included the Arrtx logo to kind of make up for the fact that the card isn't on the page. That's the end of the video, I guess. That's this page. That's not the end of the video. That's this page. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I'm also really glad that I left the background white. I was planning on doing that thing I sometimes do of adding a coloured box behind them, but I think something about the white just looks so nice and clean, and I'm really happy that I didn't. That is this page, which I'm really happy with how it turned out, because I was really nervous at first and I thought I'd made a mistake by just sticking to coloured pencils, but it was really easy to get into the groove of it, and I just love how it turned out, and I love my girls so much. Maybe I'll draw something for Bertha soon, because it feels kind of unfair that I've drawn Clarissa twice. But yeah, these pencils were amazing. I am in love with them, and they work really well with other mediums as well. I have used them a fair bit since filming this video. I used them here on this Rick, which is with the acrylic markers by Arrtx, and I used the pencils to just kind of neaten it up a little bit. And again, with this Rick, I fixed a gouache painting that was failing because this paper does not take gouache. Yeah, so that really saved this picture for me. So these pencils are amazing. I'm in love with them. If you're interested in getting your own set, links to these will be in the description below, as well as any extra information about this video and the tools that I've used. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's watched this video, who's made it this far. Thank you so much. I also want to say a huge thank you to my Patreons: Disby, Megan Palmer, Grimclow, Non-Toxic, Saint Nick's, LP, Kira May, Kay, Annabelle, Joanna, Sir Studalot, Mila, VB, Pretty Rotten, Crescent Frog, Joanna Snake Moon, Humble Frogs, Local Fishkeeper, Mould Ghoul, Art Mancy, Farrar Sun Arts, Molly Marula, Sammy Bear 127, Kenzania, Jade S, Arrow, Charlie, Malorus, Ghosty, Jessica Hughes, Cindy King, and Vlada. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. Thank you Arrtx for sending me these pencils, and hopefully I should have another video out for you guys soon.